And I think it's more so because we lived as men prior before we started living as women, right? So we understand men, right? We know what they like. We know what they like when it pertains to intimacy, when it pertains to lovemaking.
I'm way beyond universes, beyond Mars. I am the love on the Venus before extraterrestrial.
Hey sweethearts, it's Nicolette Venus once again tapping in and welcome to my channel. If you're new to my channel, please make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on all post notifications so you can be notified every time I upload. So in this video I'm going to be talking about, is it transphobic to not want to date a transgender woman? Now, I've been hearing from certain men that they're saying that some trans women are telling them that it is transphobic to not want to date us. Now, personally, I never heard that before. Maybe that's some TikTok stuff, because, you know, they say some off-the-wall shit on TikTok, right? So, my personal opinion is that I believe it is not transphobic to not want to date a transgender woman. I think that's more so personal preference. I think it's no different as a person that prefers someone taller as opposed to someone shorter, or someone slimmer as opposed to someone more heavier set, right? I think those things go hand in hand. I think it is just personal preference, right? I honestly think it's foolish though. Now, this is just my personal opinion. I'm not saying this to try to get more men to be attracted to transgender women, right? Like, I'm good in that department, sweetie. Like, I get approached by men, right? So that's not why I'm saying this. I'm saying this because this is the truth. I think those men are foolish, and I'm talking about the men that exclude trans women completely, right? Not the guys that are open to dating trans women, right? Especially in today's modern day dating, right? I think it's foolish because a lot of trans women tend to be very compatible with men. For example, there's so many trans women that know men, and I think it's more so because we lived as men prior before we started living as women, right? So we understand men, right? We know what they like. We know what they like when it pertains to intimacy, when it pertains to lovemaking. And some trans women even carry on certain characteristics into womanhood, right? For example, like, I like to play video games here and there, right? So I think it's because we lived as guys prior, and some of us even hung out with guys. So I think we have a different mindset when it pertains to dating because we tend to appreciate the more simple things, right? And a lot of trans women, when it pertains to dating, are typically not delusional, because we all know in this modern day society of dating, there's so many people that are delusional, right?
So you think that you're just gonna go find another guy worth $50 million is ready to wipe you up?
No, like I said, 100 million. I like to double down.
So the 50 million guy was just too poor for you.
No, he just wasn't the right one.
Cap.
You do realize there might be people in the comments calling you absolutely delusional.
Like, no shade, but I'm not the type of person that's gonna barely meet a guy and demand him to take me to a place like Ruth Chris, spend $500 on me, wine and dine me with steak, champagne, because I'm a bad bitch, right? I'm not gonna do that, right? But we all know in today's society, in modern day dating, that a lot of people are delusional. And like I said, this is no shade, but a lot of trans women tend to be more practical. A lot of trans women tend to appreciate the smaller things. A lot of us tend to not be delusional because we had to fight for everything. Like, for example, I wasn't called a princess growing up. I was literally getting beat up and bullied, right? So I think trans women have a different mindset when it pertains to that, because a lot of us had to fight for our respect. A lot of us had to fight for our womanhood. We were giving nothing on a silver platter. We had to fight for it, right? Even to this day, we're still fighting for our rights. We're still fighting for stuff, right? So a lot of trans women tend to have a different mindset when it pertains to dating. Now, I'm not trying to compare trans women and biological women, right? Because I know people are going to be like, oh, you're trying to compare yourself to... No, that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm speaking from a trans woman point of view as to why these guys are foolish, because I literally sit back and listen to these guys explain the type of women that they like, right? And I'll be thinking to myself, like, damn, he's literally talking about me.
Fools! All of you!
But he doesn't even know it. So this is why I say it's pretty foolish, the guys that, you know, exclusively won't date any trans women. I'm not talking about the guys that would consider it, right? I'm talking about the guys that exclusively will not date us, right? I think it's foolish because trans women have a lot of really good qualities. Trans women have a lot of pros. We do have some cons, right? And the obvious con is what? Children, right? But if that guy does not want children,
So I goes to pick her up the next day. She got 3 more kids with her.
Wake up, kids. Robin, you can slow down now. We here.
or already has children, then there's a hell of a lot of pros. So I'm trying to explain this the best way that I can. Trans women tend to be more practical when it pertains to dating, right? We tend to appreciate the smaller things. Many of us tend to not be delusional when it pertains to dating, right? In that aspect. And I think it's because we were brought up differently, right? We weren't put on a pedestal since we were little. A lot of us were bullied and beat up. So that's what I'm trying to say, that trans women, we understand men, we appreciate the little things. And people nowadays are not even about love. They're not looking for love. Hello? They're looking for what they can get out of you. They're looking for what you got in your wallet, honey. That's what they're looking for. They're looking for a free lunch. They're literally going on dates just to get a lunch out of you, just to get food out of you, just to get you to buy them something. They're not looking for love, right? So what I'm simply saying is trans women appreciate the smaller things. Trans women have a lot of good qualities, and trans women are very compatible with these men. Based off of what I hear them say, right? Based off of what I hear these men say, the type of women that they want, I literally be sitting back thinking to myself like, this guy is literally explaining me, right? So this is why I say these men are foolish. Because if you're like, oh, I want this, I want this, I want that, and someone brings it to you, and you're like, no, I don't want it, I don't want it. So yeah, I just want to touch on that topic because I've been hearing some guys say there are certain trans women out there saying, oh, it's so transphobic to not want to date us. And like I said, my personal opinion is that's not transphobic, that is just personal preference. So if you enjoyed this video, please remember to like, comment, subscribe, future content, and until next time, guys.